What happens when two radically different visions for a good society collide? One, born from the chaos of ancient China, seeks harmony through duty and hierarchy. The other, forged in the fires of revolution, champions the rights and liberty of the individual. This is the story of a philosophical clash that continues to shape our world. Our story begins in the 6th century BCE in the war-torn states of ancient China. This was an era of relentless conflict and social disorder, a time when humanity seemed to have lost its way. From this turmoil emerged a thinker, Kongzi, whom the West would later call Confucius. Confucius interpreted this chaos as a rupture in humanity's relationship with heaven, or Tian. The cosmic order was out of balance. His life's mission was not to invent a new system, but to restore a lost harmony through a framework of moral obligations and ritual propriety. 2 millennia later, and across the world, a different revolution was brewing. In the late 18th century, the American founders were immersed in the European Enlightenment. Their project was the opposite of restoration. It was a radical construction of a new society from the ground up. Where Confucius saw a network of relationships, the founders saw sovereign individuals. The Declaration of Independence enshrined a revolutionary idea that all people are endowed with unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The individual, not the community, was the primary unit of concern. This fundamental divergence set the stage for an enduring clash. A system designed to restore harmony through moral hierarchy, pitted against one engineered to protect individual freedom from governmental overreach. The battle lines were drawn, not with armies, but with ideas. In the Confucian worldview, the self was not an isolated island. A person was fundamentally a node in a network of reciprocal duties. The core virtue of Zyro, or filial piety, established a paradigm of respect and obligation to one's parents that extended to all other social interactions. This emphasis on relational identity created a stark contrast with the American tradition, which celebrated personal autonomy. The pursuit of happiness was envisioned as a private endeavor, a journey of the self, not the fulfillment of a predetermined role. The two systems also proposed entirely different foundations for a legitimate political order. Confucianism was built on the cultivation of virtue. It suggested that society should be led by a moral elite, the Junzi, or exemplary person. This ruler was to lead by ethical example and moral force, not by brute power or legal decree. It was a meritocratic ideal, where governance was a profound responsibility for the most virtuous and capable. In stark contrast, the American system was founded on the concept of inherent rights, not cultivated virtue. The government's primary purpose was not to make people good, but to protect rights that all people possessed simply by being human. Authority in this new system derived from the consent of the governed. This was a radical departure. Legitimacy came from below, from the people, not from the superior moral character of those at the top. These different foundations led to opposing mechanisms for achieving social stability. Confucianism sought harmony through clearly defined hierarchical roles, known as the 5 key relationships. Each relationship involved mutual obligations, creating an orderly, interdependent social organism. Think of society not as a collection of individuals, but as a single, complex body where every part has its place and function. The American system, fearing the concentration of power, sought stability through competition. Its structures, regular elections, separation of powers, were designed to manage conflict, trusting that this competition would prevent any single faction from dominating. This tension even extended to the purpose of education. In the Confucian tradition, education was the sacred pathway to moral self-cultivation. The goal was to refine one's character to become a more virtuous person and a benevolent administrator. Study of the classic texts and rituals, or Li, was meant to inscribe traditional values and social norms into the very heart of the individual. It was an education of the soul. For the founders, education had a more pragmatic goal: the survival of the republic. An educated citizenry was needed to participate responsibly in civic life, to recognize tyranny, and to make informed judgments as voters. It was about creating informed citizens, not moral gentlemen. Despite these profound differences, history holds a fascinating twist, a brief, fleeting moment of connection. American intellectuals, particularly Benjamin Franklin, were exposed to Confucian ideas through translations. Franklin admired the philosopher's focus on moral perfection and virtuous leadership. He even wrote a summary of Confucius's ideas for his own newspaper, the Pennsylvania Gazette. This intellectual curiosity was real. The influence went further. James Madison, a key architect of the U.S. Constitution, hung a portrait of Confucius in his home. The founders saw in Confucius a source of ethical inspiration, a model of rational morality free from ecclesiastical dogma. But this influence was ultimately superficial. The founders absorbed Confucian ethics as a personal inspiration, but they did not incorporate its hierarchical social structures into the nation's political blueprint. The American system remained firmly rooted in rights and liberty. The core tension between these value systems is not just a historical relic. It plays out in modern American society every day, particularly within East Asian immigrant communities. Academic studies show that traditional Confucian values, respect for elders, emphasis on education, familial obligations, persist powerfully even after immigration, but they are constantly challenged by the dominant culture's emphasis on personal choice. This can create a quiet, painful intergenerational conflict. A father's expectation of unquestioned respect clashes with his son's belief in individual expression. A daughter's choice of a career path based on personal passion may be seen as a rejection of her duty to the family's collective success. This ongoing negotiation within families is the living, breathing clash of these two powerful ethical frameworks. It's a drama of duty versus desire, community versus self, playing out in suburban homes and city apartments across the nation. In our increasingly globalized world, a critical question arises. Are these systems doomed to eternal opposition, or can they inform and improve one another? Contemporary scholars are now exploring this very possibility. Some argue that Confucianism's emphasis on responsibility and community could serve as a vital corrective to the excesses of Western individualism, which can sometimes lead to isolation and social fragmentation. Conversely, others propose that integrating Confucian meritocratic ideals could improve the quality of democratic leadership, selecting leaders for their virtue and competence, not just their popularity or wealth. A powerful physical reminder of this potential dialogue is carved in stone for all to see. High on the U.S. Supreme Court building, among the great lawgivers of history, stands the figure of Confucius. The American tradition itself, in its most sacred legal space, acknowledges multiple sources of wisdom. It is a silent testament to the fact that the path to a just society may be illuminated by many different lights. So, what can we learn from this centuries-long dialogue? The Confucian system reminds us that we are social creatures, that our identities are shaped by our relationships, and that a stable society requires a shared sense of duty and respect. The American system champions the unparalleled dignity and freedom of the individual. It protects the right to choose one's own path, to speak one's mind, and to live without oppression. These are monumental achievements of human history. The challenge for our 21st century is to navigate this clash not as a winner-take-all battle, but as a source of mutual reflection. Perhaps the good life is not found in choosing one over the other, but in holding the tension between them. Perhaps it lies in building communities that honor both our duties to others and our rights as individuals. In recognizing that we are both sovereign selves and nodes in a network of care. The story of Kongzi and the founders is far from over. It continues in every classroom where critical thinking is balanced with respect, in every boardroom where success is measured by more than profit, and in every home where love navigates the delicate balance between tradition and freedom. This philosophical clash is, in the end, a conversation about the most fundamental questions. What does it mean to be a good person? What are the foundations of a good society? And how do we live together in a way that honors both our common humanity and our unique individuality?